is Seattle-based now.
Right. It's crazy, man. And this summer, it's been insane. It's been raining constantly.
It's been tough this summer. So I moved the studio into my garage, which doesn't have a new house. I don't want to pay for rent anywhere else.
Right.
Everything is soaking wet when it's so humid. It's just the paint, everything is just slipped. I fell the other day in my garage, just how wet and gross it was. It's a weird summer we're having. It
is a weird summer. For me, it seems a little bit more intense than usual as far as Pittsburgh weather goes. The thunderstorm we had yesterday was insane.
Yeah,
super
absolutely
weird.
Wild. I drove past my neighbor's house today, and there was a tree down in the front yard, and my dog was panicking the entire time. But yeah, we went from winter all the way into May to brutal 90-degree. That's even hot for Pittsburgh, unusually hot. Yeah, it's been weird.
But 90 degrees in Pittsburgh is so different from 90 degrees in
San Diego.
Yeah.
It is.
It feels like suffocating. Yep. It's all tight in your chest.
You can grab the water out of the air.
Yeah.
Just drink by just pushing air into your mouth.
Well, we're just built different out
here.
Yeah.
I did realize once I came out here, when I was in San Diego, I'd be like, I don't want to sweat. I don't want to be able to show sweat in my armpits and my back and everything. Because it's gross. Then you're the sweaty guy. And then you come out to Pittsburgh and
everybody's a sweaty guy.
Yeah. It's all right. It doesn't matter anymore. 2 outs, 2-2 count. Andrew Benintendi hit an RBI double his first time up. Bailey Falter looking to get out of this. And he gets him. Good slider there, swing and a miss. And so 3-0. We'll come back here on Unobstructed Views. Just a minute. Cody Sabol paints, Cody Graves wrestles / commentates wrestling.
I talk too much.
You talk too much. I know that feeling. And Stephen Brault here with you, watching this beautiful first game back from the All-Star break for the Buccos. So far not going too well, 3-0, but that painting went very well. How would you grade yourself in that painting? Give yourself, a 1 to 10, 10 being the best? What do you got there?
I'm really hard on myself.
That's why
I give it an 8.
Nice.
For live TV, I'm not gonna be too hard on myself today, but there's a bunch of videos of me at home where I'll start a painting, I'll be halfway through, somebody's there videoing it, and I'll just come over with a black paint roller and just start.
Over, huh?
Yeah, the reactions I get are you're insane, you're crazy. And I was just well, it's not good. It wouldn't have seen the light of day anyway. So.
Right, you see it differently. That's something that, as somebody who made it to the top level of their sport and somebody who made it to the top level of mine, that's kind of necessary, right? You have to be your toughest critic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm not I don't want to say that I'm just, I hate the work that I do, but you just know at what level you need it to be.
IKF line drive left center, diving play. What a catch out in center field.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'd put my hands up too, man.
Colson, no, that's not Colson Montgomery. That's Luis Robert Jr.
What a
Colson
play.
is playing shortstop. Wow, what a catch by Luis Robert Jr. That is why people wanted him in the trade deadline so badly, because he's a crazy athlete. But look at that route. Perfect route, beautiful dive. I mean, that's full extension down to the bottom.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
you can't debate that was a necessary dive.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
What a catch. And that just goes the wrong way for IKF. But a good swing, so we'll get back to the top of the order in Tommy Pham. Jonathan Cannon is pitching for the White Sox. He's had an interestingly good year, 4.5 ERA, right around there. But good changeup. And a good changeup can be hard because it's just, if you can make something look like the fastball and then it just dies off, there's really nothing you can do about it.
Just fooling hitters left and right.
Pulling hitters, man. It's all it's about, messing up timing.
What was your go-to?
Fastball.
Yeah.
I didn't even throw that hard, but it was just, for whatever reason, lefty. It had good effects, so.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
When I first came up, I was throwing a lot of sliders because I thought my fastball wouldn't play because I didn't throw it very hard. And Josh Harrison, I had at bat against him in an inter-squad game, and he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, you got to throw that fastball more, man. You just can't see it." So as soon as he said that, I was like, "All right, that's enough for me."
Yeah, at that point, he's like a 2-time All-Star at that point, so you gotta.
Interesting play. I hope that's more play acting than anything else.
Just a
Pop
little
up to
drama.
center field. That's one of those situations that can end very badly. So
Yeah,
good to see
unfortunately,
that.
we've seen it end catastrophically quite a few times. I mean, that was last split second.
Point.
Yeah, he might have tweaked the knee there for a second, but
You ever hyperextended your knee?
oh yes.
Yeah, it's such a weird feeling. Oh, yeah. I think he's okay, but still, that was a little more contact than I think we gave it credit for.
I think that might have been
first.
one of those. I'm going to wait to see how it feels for a few seconds before I react properly because
Right.
it was scary.
Right. So
That's something I'm
McCutcheon-
very familiar with. You get hit so hard, you lay there and you go, wait a minute, I can still feel my fingers, feel my toes, everything's working. All right, I can get back up now.
I mean, you guys, I don't even understand how most of this works, but you have to get the air knocked out of you. You got to get, legitimate pain. We already have 2 outs here, 2 strikes, so we can come back to this later. But there's stuff you got to put up with in wrestling that I don't think anybody gives you credit for.
Well, like I said, our human bodies are not different than anybody else's. It's just what we choose opt to do with them for a living. And our bodies are not built for that. You try to,
Oh, does he clip him?
Come on.
Not quite. Reps around it. Catching the warning track.
false hope.
3-0. We'll go to the 4th here on Unobstructed Views. Corey Graves, Cody Sabol, Stephen Brault when we come back. It is Yinzer-Palooza, and so we're going to have a bunch of celebration of the city of Pittsburgh, and of course that includes tomorrow is Mac Miller Day. There's going to be a t-shirt that you can buy exclusively at the Pirates Clubhouse store. It's that shirt right there, an awesome shirt. Also going to be giving away Mac Miller bobbleheads that sing. They make noise. They've showed it on the broadcast a few times. They look really, really cool. Definitely something you want to get your hands on. Also, Mac Miller's mother will be throwing out the first pitch as Luis Robert Jr. makes a beautiful diving play and then gets a first pitch fastball and crushes it.
Yeah, Mac Miller, reason to be excited. What just happened on the field, not
so
quite
much. I mean, this is the Luis Robert Jr. that he has showed in the past that he hasn't been.
You were just talking about this.
Yeah.
This was the guy this looks like the guy everybody was expecting him to be. And unfortunately, it's coming at the expense of our Buccos.
I know. It's just something we make this joke all the time. How often do you see a guy make a great play on defense, and then usually something good does not happen? But we always bring up the point that, look, he hit a homer now. And it always stands out in your brain, right?
Yeah.
I'm just so curious about the psyche of Major League Baseball players. What's going through their head, what brings them into slumps, what brings them out of slumps, because there's so many games, and if you play a long time, I mean, you're getting thousands of games.
Were you a superstitious guy?
A little bit. I mean, I was more of the belief that if something worked, I might as well not change it.
Okay.
Then I needed to do
like
something.
How far though? Were you like, I'm gonna wear the same socks every day?
No.
Were you Sidney Crosby superstitious?
I was gonna say hockey superstition.
I would do things like, let's say I got Chipotle for lunch on the day of the start and I did really well. I'm getting it again next start. I drive, hit very hard right to Tommy Pham, so that is an out. It is.
Brault's won 6 in a row. He's put on 40 pounds.
Yeah,
he's
a big guy. But that's, do you have that in wrestling? Do you have to do certain things, Come on.
I mean, I was never really too superstitious. I had a few things over the years that I developed, but I was just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. And
see what happens.
Sort of continued. I've been lucky enough. I guess I have dumb luck.
Just falling into
Sometimes
success.
it's better to be lucky than good.
Right, of course. So now Colson Montgomery at the plate struck out his first time up. I think you bring up a good point, though. When it comes to slumping and stuff like that, everybody has things that they say worked for them, But the truth is, it's the last thing that they tried. And so and then they got out of the slump. So the question is, did what you changed really make a difference, or did you just get to the end of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wondered that too. Because sometimes you don't change anything and you do really well and then you do really poorly. And it's the same exact thing. So it's hard to tell what you need to change.
Do you guys remember Turk Wendell?
No.
He was a pitcher, I believe, for the Cubs for a cup of coffee.
Okay.
And he was like Mr. Superstition. He would brush his teeth in between innings. Oh, my goodness.
Can't get over there to first,
like
Bennington. Or Montgomery's fast. I mean, he's a fast guy, but that play's got to be made.
But yeah, Turk Wendell, he would infamously jump over the foul lines. Like he was that guy. He became known for it. He was, I think, a moderately decent pitcher.
Right.
But yeah, he was more known for all of the bizarre stuff, and it was only bizarre because he did all of them together every game in front of the world.
I will say, I think you could watch every Major League Baseball game today. You could watch every half inning, and I don't think you'll see a single person step on the line.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of those things nobody really talks about. You just don't do it. A lot of infielders and outfielders who are actually running out to a position, they'll hop over the entire, baseline, right? But pitchers usually are walking, so but you will not step on the white line. There's no way. If we saw somebody step on the white line, I'd be so surprised.
And can I tell you, my 5-year-old's in T-ball, and I watch those coaches, they make those lines themselves. When I watch a little 5-year-old.
Ooh, nice 5-4-3. We got to come back.
What?
All right, we'll hit more when we come back. 4-0 White Sox. Welcome back to Unobstructed Views. We've got a question from Texas Sports Guy. What's your favorite part of Yinzer-Palooza each year as we look at the insanity that was the pierogi eating contest round 2? And that guy in the purple shirt is a champion. He is Mr. Pierogi. Did he just not eat for weeks? Or I don't understand how you eat that many pierogies. Either way, I got to be honest with you. Wow, line drive, base hit, Brian Reynolds. That's nice. Let him get down the line. And looks like Reynolds is going to have at least 2, and he's going to chug around now. He's going to stop. Smart choice there with nobody out here as the Pirates try to build something against Jonathan Cannon. Anyway, Yinzer-Palooza, okay? Because I've been playing, I never really got to experience things outside of the stadium, during Yinzer-Palooza. So for me, Yinzer-Palooza is more just like, it's cool that a city celebrates itself. And you know what I mean? And you celebrate the fun parts of being in Pittsburgh. I never knew about Pittsburgh when I was growing up. And when you come out here for the first time and you don't know where things are and you get lost trying to drive places, Nick Gonzalez drives that one to center. Nice catch again out there in center field.
Somebody rate a third though.
Unbelievable. Anyway, so for me, it's more about I just love this city. I love getting to know it, and I think Yinzer-Palooza is a fun example of that. And also, I get to wear cool shirts on TV. Where we get to see some Commanding Pirates stuff.
That is a cool shirt.
Thank you.
It looks drawn.
I wish it was. You wanna paint my shirt?
I feel like you could paint that easily.
I should have come prepared.
You ever paint shirts? You ever done that?
There's actually something me and my brother are gonna work on. We grew up screen printing, and we're gonna start maybe doing some of my designs or some artwork on shirts. So maybe there's something there. Soft launch.
Wow, look at that. You're welcome for the ad.
There we go.
Base hit. Pirates are on the board. O'Neal Cruz with an RBI, singles scores Brian Reynolds. Cruz 2 for 2 coming back from the All-Star break. I think that wearing the City Connect jerseys is a perfect example of kind of celebrating Yinzer-ness at Yinzer-Palooza. What about you guys? What does it make you think of?
I just love the idea as a whole, to your point, that the city of Pittsburgh can celebrate itself, because there's nothing Pittsburgh loves more than Pittsburgh. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And being lucky to travel around the world, and I get questions all the time. And as I'm sure experiencing now, the more you travel.
Absolutely.
You're from Pittsburgh. Oh, what do you guys do there? They don't know much. Shockingly, everybody knows about Primanti's, so good on them. There's a lot more to the city than just French fries on the sandwiches. But I think it's so cool for everybody to come together, and we have these big events, whether it be something like Yinzer-Palooza or even the Arts Festival later in the year. Everybody, it's just like a vibe, man. Everybody gets along. There's no drama. Pittsburgh is just kind of, everybody gets along, and that's the coolest way I can describe it.
Everybody's just proud of being from Pittsburgh. I certainly am. Like, my great-grandfather and my grandfather were steelworkers, and like, that's just what this place was. And so there's like some sort of, I don't know, deep-rooted sense of pride.
And it's never pretentious.
Right.
That's my favorite thing. It's all as cool as things can be, as successful as things can be.
Right.
Everybody's just down to earth, and it's quintessential Pittsburgh.
I think that's the part that really gets me. Is like it's not ironic. It's completely unironic. It's the idea of, I used to think when he first came up, is to see Braxton Ashcraft getting ready in the bullpen again. With the Pirates, that, the term Yinzer was something that, like, if I said it, I would get in trouble.
It was almost derogatory at a time, for sure.
And now it's one of those things where it's like that. It feels right.
Yeah. Well, you've got McAfee, to his credit.
True.
Bringing the accent to the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody goes, why does this guy speak so funny? I went, speak funny. He sounds like everybody I know.
Right. That's what everybody sounds like.
When I started doing broadcasting with WWE, I actually had to break my accent. I had a much stronger Pittsburgh accent
than
than I do now. And if I don't pay attention to it, or if I have a couple of cocktails, my wife always calls me on it. When I say down, if I don't say down, it comes out down. She goes, you're gonna download something? I said, yes, but so it still slips out from time to time. But McAfee just embraced it. Now the whole world knows about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a unique accent too. It's just one of those things where you don't know about it until you come out here and you experience it. O'Neal Cruz, 30 stolen bases already on the season. You got to imagine he's at 16 home runs. If he can keep that up, you get a 30-30 season. Even though it ends up being not as good of a season, it feels not as good because the average is down. But if he has a 30-30 season, I mean, that's a great success.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
productivity that you want. I mean,
Right.
if the average isn't quite where you'd like it to be, I mean, those numbers still count for a lot. And it's something to build off of, you know?
People aren't necessarily using average so much these days, are they? Is that true?
You want to look at OPS more so, as you see second place in the stolen bases this year. You were looking more OPS, on base plus slugging, because you want to see not only how often this guy hits the ball, gets on base, but you want to see how productive his hits are, right? Does he hit doubles, triples, home runs, that kind of thing? So
I wish
that weighs it all together.
there was a stat to measure the clutch gene. Because there's numbers for everything, but that's still that missing piece of baseball.
Yeah, runners in scoring position, but that doesn't quite get everything.
There's so much more to it. You know what I mean? It's the atmosphere, it's the moment, it's who do you want up when the game is on the line, that sort of thing. I feel like that's sort of a lost. It was so valuable for a long time, and it was like, okay, think of like a Tony Gwynn or whatever. I'm sure his stats all back it all up. You could measure it, but there's something intangible, right? It's a feeling. It's
for
a
me.
vibe.
That's you guys remember Matt Stairs?
Yeah,
of course.
He was just all he was there for was batting in the ninth inning and either hitting a home run or striking out.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Yep.
That kind of player is not. If we went to the home run derby swing off, like we did after the All-Star game for every extra inning game, those guys would definitely come back.
Which I loved, by the way.
I know, right? Horwitz grounds out, but the Pirates do get one. 4-1. We will go to the fifth inning now here on Unobstructed Views. Pirates Kid 23 asks us here on Unobstructed Views, do you guys think you could complete the 999 challenge? Pirates Kid, thank you for tweeting us at #SNPViews. And we were talking about this a little bit before. I got to be honest with you. So 999, 9 beers, 9 hot dogs in 9 innings. And I don't think I could do it. The problem for me would be you got to do it over time, and I'm filling up way too much. Braxton Ashcraft comes in the game. This guy could 100% do it. He is a tank. Bailey Falter, not the start he wanted today. But you guys, do you think you could do it?
I'm relatively certain I could do it.
All right.
And I feel so strongly I would be willing to do it in a public forum, although I would advise not putting a microphone anywhere near me.
Right, that's a good point.
I cannot be held responsible for what comes out of my mouth after 9 beers.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Cody?
I think that the hot dogs are a no-brainer for me. I think I would struggle with the beer, but it just depends kind of how light, I guess, the beer. I don't know. It just depends.
Yeah, that's also.
You get to choose. Is it icy light or icy heavy?
Is it tall boy? Is it what kind of? What are we talking about? You know?
If it's icy light, 1,000%, I'm certain.
You're certain.
I put 9 down before breakfast.
I'm gonna say yes. I think I could do the 999 challenge.
I wish I could confidently say yes, but I tried to do like an inning or a dog per inning at a Dodgers game one time.
Yeah.
I will say the Dodgers dogs, they're longer.
They're a little bigger.
Yeah,
they're not regulation.
Yeah. And they're also like $35
That's true.
a dog.
Yes.
Right.
And there's no way I was going to finish that, so I didn't even try after the first 3. Here's a fun one for you. In the Philadelphia Phillies clubhouse, there is a chef in there that all he does is make Philly cheesesteaks. That's his whole job. And I've been to all the places you're supposed to go to get cheesesteaks.
I was going to ask you.
It's my favorite.
The clubhouse
cheesesteak
one
is
better.
Incredible. And he'll make a chicken cheesesteak too if you want. It's really good. But there's records up on the walls for guys who have eaten the most in a single day or most in a 3-game series, 4-game series. And the numbers are insane. We're talking full foot-long, fully loaded Philly cheesesteaks. And the record for a day is 7.25.
Wow.
Whoa. By who? Do you know?
Jason Worth, I believe, actually. I know he used to have the 3-day one as well, but just a few years ago, the Rockies bullpen catcher put down like 24 in a 4-game series.
Oh,
and
my
just
God.
blew everybody
Oh, my
out of the water.
gosh.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Like a full cheesesteak.
24 feet of cheesesteak.
You said the bullpen catcher?
Yeah, bullpen
You
catcher.
know he's sitting on a bucket by day 3. He's not squatting down for
No,
sure.
but he's working through it, you know? You got to do what you got to do. There's little things like that in baseball that kind of make the different cities you go to a little bit interesting, you know, a little local flavor. When you go to San Diego and LA, you get you get either like a Mexican restaurant will send in, you know, like some chefs and stuff to make, you know, fresh Mexican food in the clubhouse. It's amazing. You get to some local flavor when you go places.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's really cool.
That's cool.
How does that work for wrestling? You guys are just
We have a catering.
Are you there for a week?
No, we where for a week?
Sorry, when you go travel, let's say you're going to do a show on Monday night. Do you go to that city that the show is going to be in?
For example, I will fly to Houston this coming Sunday.
Okay.
Get in sometime in the early evening, and then do Raw on Monday, which we have to be there usually, depending on the time zone, around noonish.
Okay.
And we're there until we go off the air that night, and then I ordinarily would fly to Orlando on Tuesdays to do NXT at the Performance Center. This week, NXT's in Houston, so it's actually saving me a flight, so I'm looking forward to it. But then I'll fly back Wednesday morning.
Okay, so it's pretty quick.
Usually, but this past weekend I was in Atlanta for 2 days, then I drove to Birmingham, was in Birmingham for 2 days, and then flew to Orlando. So it kind of depends. And
Right.
luckily, I haven't had to go on any of these super long trips lately. We just did an event in Saudi Arabia a few weeks ago, and that's
Wow.
a 14-hour flight each way, which is quite rough.
It's not short, that's for sure.
I don't like flying to Atlanta.
Too far?
It's just I'm sitting economy, that's for sure.
Okay.
So it's just, it gets a little cramped sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't imagine a 14-hour flight.
Yeah, I flew to New Zealand a few years ago, and I thought getting an extra row seat would be a good idea. But instead, I literally sat next to a rugby player who also thought,
yeah.
I'm going to get the extra row
man.
seat. And so I had plenty of leg room, but his shoulders were 3 times as wide as mine. So I ended up sitting like this the entire flight anyway.
Your elbows are touching.
Yeah, exactly. Sitting like this the entire time. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Braxton Ashcraft walks. Austin Slater, he's had a pretty good game so far, 1 for 2 now with a walk. And Ashcraft, hey, he's been a guy, when you're talking about youth movement for the Pirates, he's one of those guys that's come up and been somebody that makes you once again re-engage in what the youth of this team can bring, right? And if you're a fan, you see guys like Ashcraft, and it's like, oh, there's definitely a bright future, especially when it comes to the pitching.
Right, you got
that the
Bubba
Pirates
Chandler
have.
waiting in the wings.
Hunter Barco. I mean, there's a lot of guys that can add a lot to this team. So you think, you can build just based on one side? You think you could just be mostly focused on pitching and then figure out hitting?
I mean, it seems on paper our pitching staff was stellar at the beginning of this season.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about the issues that Skeens has had, which aren't really his issues, no run support. And we could be in a totally different position. And I think the pitching staff looks good and has potential to get even better in the short term. I think the focus needs to be on bats.
Yeah.
Just somebody steady, reliable. We've got guys that show flashes of greatness. Kutch is still pretty reliable
Yeah.
after all these years. And I think that's really where they need to focus, just having consistency at the plate.
And you get that one big bopper in the middle of the lineup that's consistent with it.
Consistent being the operative word, because
Right.
O'Neal Cruz can hit a ball to the moon. I mean,
course.
but he only does it once every so often, so not necessarily when it matters most.
The Cubs did that this offseason. They went and got Kyle Tucker. A lot of their lineup remained essentially the same, and this year their offense is one of the best in baseball because that one guy in the middle of the lineup, it just makes the whole lineup so much better.
And
You
I
know
think
what mean?
timing's everything, because we were talking before we came on the air about Tommy Pham and what was expected of him. Obviously, he had his eye issues, and now he's finally figured it out. And Pham's been on fire recently. I think he could maybe if he'd remedied the eye problems before the season or something, if that was an option, maybe he would have had a little bit more of a consistent run leading up to this point. But hey, if he's on fire right now, like, let's just enjoy it.
Let him run.
Well, let me ask you, as a former pitcher, how does seeing a lineup where maybe your starters are resting, how does that like influence your psyche as a pitcher to where it's like, I'm gonna have to pitch my brains out today? Is that the kind of a mentality you have?
Yeah, dude. It's funny because there's times when you go face a lineup that doesn't have good numbers or that doesn't profile well against you, and so you get to feel like, all right, I'm gonna go in today. I'm gonna have a great day. This is gonna be awesome. Then you give up 5 runs in the first 3 innings, and you're like, dang it! Like I totally screwed this up. But I think that when you put anybody in the middle of the lineup that you have to basically circle to say, I'm not gonna let this guy beat me. If there's runners on first and third and this guy's up, he's not going to get anything really good to hit, sort of thing. And just having that, thinking about that as a pitcher kind of puts you on the defensive a little bit, right? So the best pitchers, they don't care. Grounder to third. This would be a huge double play. Hayes, easy turn, beautiful turn for Ashcraft. He gets out of it 4-1. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning right after this.
Comeback.
Amazing stories. Rinku Singh, a former teammate of mine in the minor leagues with the Pirates, won the $1 Million Arm Contest in India, was a cricket player, as you pointed out, Corey. Thank you very much. And then he ended up signing a minor league contract with the Pirates. I played with him for a little while, but he made a career change while becoming a pitcher. It wasn't really working out. He became a wrestler. The WWE superstar Veer Mahan. Did you get to wrestle with or against him?
I did not
anything?
have to compete with or against Veer. I got to call a lot of his matches. I was actually a really big fan. There was something special I thought about him. He didn't stay around too long, but he was really well thought of, very well liked personally. He's an absolutely A+ human being. And what a wild life to go to win the $1 Million Arm Contest, have a Disney movie made about your life.
Unbelievable.
And then you play big league ball for, he didn't make it to the majors, but in the organization. And then the next logical step, let me go beat the hell out of other people for a living, which he actually excelled at fairly well. But yeah, I thought the world of him. He was a really, really cool guy. Really fun to have around.
What was the Disney movie?
$1 million
arm.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I
That
need
was
to see
actually
it.
that's what we called his clothesline.
Yeah.
Was the $1 million arm because that's what he would
Oh.
finish opponents with, and he had the wind up and everything.
That's
and
awesome.
Would crush people. Yeah, he was pretty interesting, man. I really liked him.
He was a teammate of mine in the minor leagues, and I remember he started really working out. Like he got really some of those guys who didn't really he never really worked out growing up, right? And so all of a sudden you get put into a system where you not only are you encouraged to work out, but you have everything you could ever need, and trainers and coaches and all the nutrition you could ever need right there at your disposal. And he just got obsessed with it. I mean, he loved it, and he got huge.
Yeah, he was a beast, man.
Yeah.
He was a beast.
That
when I got to know
transition
him.
picture that we saw up there, like my jaw dropped.
right?
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Isn't that crazy? And I mean, look at the belt. Key's got the belt with
like
the keys
that.
on it. That's pretty nice.
Every year, Key asks me about a painting, and we never get it done.
Base hit up the middle. Sorry, ground ball up the middle. Unfortunately caught and thrown over to first. Key Brian Hayes is retired for the first out. Look at that. I mean, he wasn't small. You know, he was pretty tall.
No,
But,
but that's a big frame to pack a lot of meat on, and that's what he did.
He did. Look at him.
That was
Look at
his
it.
partner. You can see in the background, who was
Right.
even bigger than Vera was.
And the beard.
Yeah.
The beard is so funny to see. So in the minor leagues with the Pirates, when I was playing, you were not allowed to have facial hair.
Oh,
At all.
okay.
You had to be clean shaven all the time. And so that's what I knew him with, was clean shaven. And then as soon as he left, bam, big old beard. See a lot of guys like that. It's not like that anymore. You can have facial hair in the minor leagues now. But it was like you couldn't have facial hair and you couldn't have your pants down. You had to wear your pants at the knee.
Interesting.
In the minor leagues. So when you got to the big leagues, you got to wear long pants, and it was like, whoa, I'm in the show. Nice. I don't have to shave today. Nice. IKF at the plate. Bottom of the fifth, White Sox score 3 in the first inning off Bailey Falter. Then they score a fourth on a home run by Luis Robert Jr. He's had a good game so far. RBI single, a home run, and then an incredible catch out in center field.
Yeah, the man's a
Full
human highlight reel
extension.
tonight.
Yeah, that's not exactly what you want as a Pirates fan
Right.
tonight, but good baseball is good baseball.
Exactly, and there's nothing wrong with going to PNC Park, and if the opposing team makes a spectacular play, showing your appreciation. Nothing drives me more crazy than when people boo a fantastic play. I get the disappointment, especially if it's something that, saved a run or
Right.
prevented the Pirates from doing what we were trying to accomplish. But like you said, great baseball is great baseball.
There we go.
IKF has shown some pretty good baseball this year. That one's in the gap. He's been the most consistent hitter other than, recently Tommy Pham, but throughout the whole season, I think you're hard-pressed to find somebody other than maybe Andrew McCutchen, like you mentioned earlier, who's been just as consistent throughout the season. His approach is just great.
And it's consistency, not being spectacular. And
Right.
that's why, obviously fireworks are for home runs. That's what everyone
Yeah.
wants to talk about. But sometimes you just show up, do your job, do what you need to do. IKF's done that plenty of times this year.
He does it well. Cody, who are you like, a gritty guy that you watched growing up, or that you saw more? It can even be more recent, but somebody that you really appreciated that kind of gave you the same feel, just kind of more consistent, grindy guy. For me, that's Jordy Mercer.
Okay.
He's just
Yeah.
always good at shortstop. And he actually works here now. He'll be here very soon, actually. But to be able to see the way that he played when I went and started pitching, and he was still the shortstop for the Pirates, and it was like I knew anything in that area, it was a vacuum.
Like a
It was
vacuum,
gone,
yeah.
right?
Same guy, similar guy from that era, Josh Harrison.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, you could put him in anywhere in the infield, anywhere in the outfield, and he would do his job. The rundowns that he would get in,
Yeah.
the impossible ones where you couldn't believe that he was safe. I mean, just a guy like that who never gave up. I mean, that's who I would pick. It's Josh Harrison.
He's such a cool guy.
Just recently retired, too.
Yeah, he did. He waited till I believe it was exactly 15 years to the day he got drafted when he retired. But I mean, he had a great career. Like he said, he's an all-star. In I think it was 2014. He hit 314 for the season. Ooh, that one.
Oh, man.
Hurt.
Fouled off, looked
Ouch.
like the inside of the thigh. He'll be feeling that one for a few days.
The bruises you guys get from wrestling. For real?
Oh my God!
Just-
There's no way to manufacture a human handprint across your chest. you see our world heavyweight champion on Monday Night Raw is an Austrian guy by the name
Yeah.
of Gunther, the ring general.
Right.
The hardest striker in the game right now. And when this guy chops you, it echoes throughout the arena. And the images, pretty much to a person, everybody who wrestles Gunther then goes on Instagram the next morning and takes a photo of their chest. And there are literal handprints across your entire anatomy. I mean, it's brutal. There's no way, there's no trick to that.
That's the handprint on the painting.
Like Cody's handprint, but it's just flesh.
You'd rather have one of those handprints than one of your guys, though. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I got the opportunity to paint a couple WWE. I was hoping to meet some at Fanatics Fest.
If only you knew a guy.
I'm down. There was a time, it was right after Pat McAfee's big night out, where they wanted me to come to Vegas like the next weekend.
Mania.
Yeah, and I couldn't do it,
well, guess
and I
what?
wanted to.
WrestleMania is in Vegas next year. I'm sure if you
send out an
reach
email,
out, we could probably make something happen.
Would love that.
Who do you want to paint? You were at Fanatics Fest. I'm trying to think of who all was there. Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes.
Rhea Ripley, because of her makeup, is one that I know I could do successfully. I'm just trying to be successful here. I'm not trying to,
She would beat you within an inch of your life, for the record.
Right.
As long as the painting looks good, I don't care what happens, But I like, Cody Rhodes and John Cena, but honestly, everybody's so talented. I actually have was there a show that the WWE did where,
unfortunate laser.
Man.
Quiet.
We'll get back.
We'll get back to it. Yeah. Pirates don't score. 4-1. Back here on Unobstructed Views on SportsNet Pittsburgh Plus. This has been an unfortunate game so far, 4-1. But Cody, you were telling us a story about trying to get into, or a friend of yours trying to get into wrestling. But please take it away. Don't let me spoil it.
There was a show that was that the WWE hosted maybe a decade ago called Tough Enough.
Yes.
And I had a friend of mine when we were at school at Kentucky Christian University send in a video for that. And nothing ever came of it, but it's I think about it to this day. That was shot 10 years ago or so. It makes me smile. It's the funniest video of all time, and not because it's bad, but because it's so
absurd.
It's so absurd.
Trying to make a video at home to become a larger-than-life WWE superstar. I can make fun because I'm guilty of it too. I did the same thing years back, and I was wrestling on the independents. Right? I was just trying to get a break by any means necessary.
Right. Pop up back behind home, no play there. But that's got to be tough. I mean, so I did that in acting, right? I was in theater growing up, and I sang all the time. And so I would go back and look at things that I had to do, or that I sent back in to audition for something, and then I'd look at it and be like, well, no wonder I didn't get the role. That was terrible. You know, like it's funny when you step back from it, but when you're in the moment, it's all worth it, right? I mean,
yeah,
you're over the top, you're boisterous and fun. I mean, that's what WWE is like all about.
That's what it's all about, and it makes me think back to my days when I first got signed by WWE, and I was in FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling, down in Tampa, and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, who you don't have to be a wrestling fan to know who he is. He's a legend. He would actually teach what he called communication skills every Wednesday morning, and it was really to help the talents kind of craft and become stars. And you'd figure out different character traits, and you know, the first day, literally from scratch, like the first time you ever tried to be, the one that always stands out was Bray Wyatt, becoming Bray Wyatt, or Roman Reigns coming in as trying to find his voice, find his character. But to a person, all of us did some of the most embarrassing things you would ever see. And I'm sure it all lives somewhere because they recorded everything. There's got to be, hopefully it's under lock and key in a vault because it could ruin some lives. But just watching that process, and if you did acting, you understand trying to grow into who you're going to become for this role. And in WWE, it's a full-time role. You don't really turn it off. But it all used to start, Wednesday mornings. You'd roll up, tired, from the night before, exhausted, but you were excited because you didn't have to get beat up that day. And you'd sit around and Dusty would drop some knowledge on you, and then everybody would just take turns going up and usually doing about a minute and a half skit. Some of them were great, and most of them were atrocious, which made it all the more entertaining for all of us.
So who were the guys that you looked up to? What made you want to get into wrestling?
My dad was a fan. I grew up a fan. My dad, obviously, being in Pittsburgh, Inzer-Palooza, Bruno Sammartino, the man is.
I saw a picture with you with him earlier today.
I was lucky enough to meet him when he got inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. But obviously, he's Pittsburgh royalty and beyond. So my dad was a diehard fan. So I just sort of grew up into it as a fan.
Right.
And my dad always liked, with the exception of Bruno, loved the bad guys. So I grew up sort of gravitating toward the bad guys and Nature Boy Ric Flair, as I grew older, Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold and things like that. But that's as long as I can remember. My earliest memories in life sort of revolve around wrestling.
Unbelievable. It's so cool because it's just different. Like that's the exact same story for me. Just replace wrestling with baseball.
I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. I followed my passion of wrestling. You followed it with baseball, and you're doing it in your artwork. So it all boils down to passion, and if you're willing to sacrifice to take that next step in the direction of whatever it is that you want to do.
What was it like meeting those heroes that you had as your career progressed? You got to go further in it. You got to meet a lot of these guys that you're talking about.
I've met everybody. I've met everybody to a person that I've ever cared to meet if they're still around. Dusty Rhodes, to me, he became something of a mentor, and I got to spend a lot of time, particularly after my in-ring career ended. He really helped me transition into the broadcasting world, and Dusty means the world to me. And I always tell this story, but I always remember anytime I get frustrated, I would call my dad. And I remember calling my dad one day because Dusty and I got into an argument about something. And I said, Dad, Dusty won't do this. And my dad said, stop. Listen to what you just said to me. And he said, you just got in an argument with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And I went, duly noted. I guess I'm not that upset about anything.
Right.
So I kind of always help keep that perspective. But yeah, I mean, and I'll leave it at this. Ric Flair is as advertised.
Right.
There's no off switch. When he talks about limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling, dealing, he's the real deal.
That's
not an act.
Base hit. Now, so bases loaded here. Walk, and a single against Ashcraft. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here in the sixth, game not going exactly the Pirates' way because we just haven't really seen much offense once again. And the White Sox are putting some stuff together. Good swing there on a fastball, but another advantage count because Ashcraft's fallen behind a lot of these hitters. This is what you're going to get from young players sometimes, that they won't be as consistent with their performance. That's what makes Paul Skeens so special.
Right, he is the picture
Cody Sabol painting this
consistency.
beautiful Paul Skeens. Would you call them murals? Paintings?
I think murals are on walls.
Portraits?
That's how because I don't know the vocabulary either, because I didn't go to school for
You're
this.
just a professional painter, it's whatever.
Well, yeah, but self-taught. That's the asterisk up there. Yeah, I would just, just a painting, I guess. Murals are on concrete walls or brick, I think.
That's fair. But he shows that, one of the reasons he's so different is because he is so consistent at so many different aspects of pitching at a super young age.
Yeah.
That's something that as a Pittsburgh fan in general, you got to appreciate, because it's just not something you see like ever.
I like the way he carries himself. Like, I've only met him a couple of times, but he carries himself like he's been a vet for 10 years.
Right.
Like he's been around.
And it doesn't come off as thinking he's better than you.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I met him at Pirates Fest for the first time, and I was just thinking, you know what? Like, he was in the Air Force. One of my best friends is a fighter pilot in the Air Force down in San Antonio, and I was like talking to him, just trying to make small talk, and I was like, hey, my buddy said if you want to go down and fly in his, like, with him down in San Antonio, you have an open invitation. And he just went, oh, cool, I'm flying with the Thunderbirds next week. And I was just like, all right.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's cooler. So.
Oh, off the glove at first base, and that is going to score 2 runs. Robert Jr. is going to score as well. It's 6-1. That gets away from IKF at second, and no advancing there. So now second and third on the, I guess that's a double. It's just right off the glove at first base. Colson Montgomery's going to get 2 RBIs. Let's take a look at this. Bounces up, goes for the leap, just at the top of the glove. Man, that's tough. That bounced way high. That's one of those just more, as a pitcher, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad.
You can't buy a vowel.
No, and especially because you walk those first 2 guys, it's your fault. You can't be too upset about it, but we're going to get a pitching change here. Braxton Ashcraft coming out of the game. 6-1, White Sox lead it. The Pirates going to have to do a lot of work here, especially now second and third. Nobody out here in the 6th inning. We'll come back to you on Unobstructed Views right after this break. Got another question from X at Penguins 877158. I love reading the numbers like that. At SN Pittsburgh, what got you guys into baseball? What got you guys into baseball? I mean, Cody Sabol, you painted that beautiful Paul Skeens painting. That's what we're calling it, since we can't figure out a better name for it, as Johan Ramirez enters the game for the Pirates. But let's talk about that. What got you guys into baseball? As kids, what made you like it?
My dad forced me to play baseball.
Nice.
I remember crying, telling him that I did not want to play baseball, and he was just like, well, that sucks. Too bad. You're playing baseball this year. And I was 6 or 7 years old, but I've grown to love it ever since. I got friends that were in baseball, and playing sports growing up, taught me how to be a man today, I think. Right. You learn how to work with people, you get your friends, you travel around with them, and play a sport that that I've come to love. So my dad forced it on me.
And it worked.
And it worked, and I love it. Thanks, Dad.
What about you, Corey?
My story was nowhere near as traumatic as Cody's. I actually really enjoyed baseball when I was a kid, but I would say my dad too. My dad was a fan of the Pirates, and when I was just old enough to start playing, I was the firstborn son, so of course he's naturally going to push me in that direction.
Firstborn too.
I was not forced, with the threat of violence. But yeah, and I was good at it when I was young. You know, Little League, I don't know what you define as good, but I felt like I was good.
Better than the other people.
It felt that way,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed it. I liked going to practice. I liked every aspect of it. I liked playing with the team, hanging out with my friends. I mean, it was great. And my only regret in life is that I didn't pursue it further. I definitely don't think I had the skill set to do anything with it, but I just sort of wish I had a little bit more experience doing it because I did enjoy it so much.
Big strikeout by Yohan Ramirez. Yeah, for me, it was my dad as well. I'm not the firstborn son. I'm the fourth-born son. So all of my brothers before me, they also played baseball when they were kids. But I was the only one who played it after like 13 years old, you know, continuing into high school. But for me, it was what we did. You know, my dad loves baseball. My dad still plays baseball. He's 63 years old and he still plays baseball.
I love that. I love the.
And he also umpires Little League games. Like he's a baseball fan.
Just loves it.
Loves the game. Loves it. His license plate was BBLSLIF. Baseball is life.
You know, I mean, take a different meaning in 2025.
It's different now.
Right, yeah.
It's amazing how those terms change.
Yeah. And so for him to have, you know, so many, you know, it's just such a love for the game like that, it turns things around, you know?
For sure.
And this is, I agree. It's funny. So it's, for me, it's always been like, it was always the main thing I did. So then when I started doing music, that kind of added in something else. Pop up, caught at second base by Gonzalez. 2 outs now. Hey, this is pretty good. Yohan Ramirez is getting out of this jam. He's got 2 so far. Tomorrow, we take a look at those projected starters. Look at the numbers for Adrian Hauser. 9 starts, 5-2, a 1.56 ERA. Man, it's been a good year for him. That's the kind of season that you have that you look back and you're just like, I don't even know what happened, you know? Only 9 starts in, of course, but looking really good. Hopefully the Pirates can turn this one around a little bit, score some runs here.
And it's just a matter of executing and getting the runs home. We've gotten them on base. I mean, at this point, it should potentially, if they would have capitalized, been at 6-4 at worst.
Right.
And we've had the chance to keep the game tight. It's just a matter of not executing when it matters most. It's just sort of a recurring theme, unfortunately.
Right. And, you know, and actually, interestingly enough, the pitcher for the White Sox, Jonathan Cannon today, he has the lowest batting average against with runners in scoring position this year out of any starter. So even though his numbers overall aren't great, apparently most of those numbers come from when people are not on base or on first base, because with runners on scoring position, he's been really good. Austin Slater, a guy, came from the Giants, bounced around a lot. I played against this guy in Double-A. Back in Double-A, he was unbelievable. He was so good. Still a pretty good player, but good pitch by Ramirez, and he gets out of it. So 6-1, we will go to the break, bottom of the 6th inning here on Unobstructed Views when we come back. Back to Unobstructed Views. Some pretty cool people you've met. We talked about this last time. Corey Graves joining us here today along with Cody Sabol. But, I mean, is this one of your number ones,
I mean,
Kurt
there's
Angle?
2 of them, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's Yinzer Palooza, first Kurt Angle, and there, of course, the great Bruno Sammartino. There's a good friend of mine, Seth Rollins, I mentioned earlier, just went down with an injury. But he's been one of my closest friends for a long, long time. Devon Dudley. I get to have a lot of fun. I think I just photobombed him in there. He was doing a proper photo shoot, and just to jump in and have some fun, man. This was WrestleMania a few years back. You see Pat McAfee on the right, Michael Cole, CM Punk, who came back after a long time away. John Cena. It was actually that day, in that conversation, John Cena was the man who explained to me that if your pants do not have a stripe on the side, it's not officially a tuxedo.
Really?
I learned it in that moment. I will never forget that conversation for that very reason.
And I learned it right now.
Well, there we go.
So did
There we go.
And we can all thank John Cena for that little
arms.
He's a house, man.
He's so big.
He's one of the most impressive human beings I've ever been able to be around. Not only physically, but mentally, and just what he knows and understands about the wrestling business and the entertainment world and just life as a whole, man. I'm a big John Cena fan.
Ryan Reynolds lasers us out. Let's go a little Yinzer Palooza. Favorite places in Pittsburgh. What do you got?
Oh my God, that's like asking me what my favorite band is. It's next to impossible.
Right.
Off the top of my head, I will give you. Oh, there we go. I was trying to remember what I told the producers earlier. Ides in the Strip District. If you've never been, it's just this hidden little gem. Comic books, records, movies, whatever you want. It's sort of a hodgepodge now of everything entertainment.
Right.
It was an institution when I was growing up, though. Tuesdays, go in there and buy your CDs, especially the rare ones you couldn't find at the National Record Mart.
There you go.
You know, the underground bands. Ides was always very special. It's still fun to swing by and check out. I was actually at the Aviary this week with my youngest son, my
cool.
almost 2-year-old. And he had the time of his life. That to me is like, I was going to say PNC Park, but I figured that would be a little too obvious in this one.
Yeah.
But it's like a happy place for me, man. Just to walk into those big open rooms and have the birds kind of milling around. It's very zen to me. It's very sort of, I'm able to relax and not think about anything but in the moment. And then I lived in Lawrenceville for several years. Just moved out to Wexford last year. Okay.
Yeah.
The William Penn Tavern was relocated from Shadyside. But it's right on Butler Street. It's still my favorite little watering hole. I miss it dearly. That's probably what I miss most about Lawrenceville, because I could walk there and stagger home.
I did the exact same thing, man. I loved Lawrenceville. Was so cool. You know, I lived over right next to the Clementi Museum, which I actually put on my list of favorite places to go in Pittsburgh. But this is for me, Lawrenceville was one of those places I didn't know the extent of how much it had built up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I wasn't here before when it wasn't nice. But it's such a cool area.
Yeah. When I moved away, when I got signed by WWE in 2011, there was really no reason to go to Lawrenceville unless you were going to visit a friend. There was sort of a little bit of an art scene there at the time, very early on. And then when I moved back, in 2019, it was like the hottest neighborhood in the city.
Right, yeah.
And talk about what a difference a decade can make. But I love it down there, man. So many good restaurants and places to hang out and explore.
There used to be a place down there where on Thursday nights, it was a bar, but it had a roller skating rink. And so on Thursday nights, you could rent skates and skate around once a month on Thursday nights.
Oh, Belvedere. Was it Belvedere's? Yeah. I lived on that block. I could throw a rock and hit Belvedere's from my house.
We had a place like that called Blazers where I'm from.
Oh, I knew Blazers too.
You knew
I think
Blazers?
I went to a few birthday parties when I was young.
Of course.
Yeah.
There was this game like arcade games. There was one called House of the Dead. House of the Dead. It used to freak me out as a kid.
Freaked me out.
I'm glad you know Blazers, man.
Oh yeah.
Big swing by O'Neal Cruz. Jonathan Cannon's still in the game. Only at 76 pitches here in the bottom of the 6th. He has not been going deep into games. Before this last stretch of his last 5 games, he was going 6 innings every start. And then these last 5 games, he has not been doing that. Apparently, once again, tonight after that break, he's feeling pretty good.
I was going to say, maybe he's of the mindset it's a second half of the season, fresh start, new coat of paint.
This is a guy that we're hoping to see that so Michael McHenry and I were talking about how we both think that him going to the Home Run Derby was going to be a really good thing for him. Because it was going to remind him how much of a freak he is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't have to try super, super hard to be better than everybody else. You just got that inherent talent and ability. And I so far, 2 for 2. It's a nice start. 2 for 2, 2-1 count on Cruz. This one is hit high up in the air, but out to left field. And so that will go to Michael Taylor. When we come back, we will talk about Cody Sabol's favorite places to go in Pittsburgh and judge him for those. When we back. Come on. Cody Sabol joins us, the speed painter, performance painter. Cody Sabol, Pittsburgh native, has done lots of Pittsburgh paintings. We saw him do Paul Skeens earlier. Sidney Crosby. You got TJ Watt. The aura around him in that painting, that just gets me, man. It's so good. And then, of course, Andrew McCutcheon, who you got to have when you're talking about especially modern Pirates who are important to this city. And then Paul Skeens. This was done today. It was done in 30 minutes, but that was because he was slowly taking his time and enjoying his time with us chatting. You could have done that. What'd you say? 12, 15?
I could probably do that one in 12, but I don't know. I knew we were going to take our time a little bit today, but
right.
I've done a similar portrait of that, like the one there, and I did it around 10 to 12.
I'm trying to think of a way to gamble on how long it's going to take Cody to paint. But I know Cody, so I'm going to have a heads up, an inside track.
That's inside track.
But you know what the most difficult factor in determining how quickly I could do one of those is how well the Skeens on his back is written. Because when you're timing yourself, you don't want to have anything like that in there.
That's a good point.
So there's versions of Paul that I could probably do in 10.
Okay.
Just straight up 10.
All right, so give us your favorite places here in Pittsburgh to celebrate Yinzer Palooza this week.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till it pops up there. I do love, I gave all these to the producers and I switched last second, so I was curious. I just wanted to make sure. The Warhol Museum, obviously, that's right down my alley. I love that place. I love how it makes me feel like a creative. It inspires me. It doesn't intimidate me. Like, I think some other artists might be intimidated by that work, but...
Is it, I mean, what is it about Warhol's work that speaks to you? Because it's different, it's unique, it's got, right? I mean, but it's something that you say it speaks to you. Why?
I think he's influenced the modern generation. I think he, like with the pop, the pop culture stuff, painting his favorite things, the things that interest him, and to this day, I mean, I'm painting Superman and Spider-Man and things like that. Not in his style at all, but just that you could paint your favorite things and make a lot of money off of it. And or just do the thing that you love.
Right.
That's just he's such an inspiration. I actually have a little Warhol inspired tattoo. Where's the camera? Right there. The banana from the Velvet Underground album cover. I got that tattooed on me just because I needed to prove to people that I'm a real one.
To be fair.
The North Shore, I put that on there because once my dad forced me to love baseball, we would go down to Pirate games and we would park where he worked which I'm not gonna give the address, but like it was right on the river walk to the stadium.
Right.
And it was a couple blocks. It was like a 20-minute walk, but it was the nicest 20-minute walk. You see the whole city, the skyline. You go under a couple bridges and you get to the park. That was the best part, you know, going in and out of. You get to see Pittsburgh during the day and then Pittsburgh at night coming out. And then
Right.
Mount Washington also has that kind of aura of like makes you feel small. You look down at the whole city, you watch the cars go across the bridge, and you feel small, and it puts yourself into a little, like, it's a perspective changing type of thing, and it makes you appreciate how beautiful Pittsburgh is. So those are my favorite 3 places that you can go to in Pittsburgh. I think this city is one of the most beautiful places, and it doesn't get enough credit for that.
Definitely
with that.
underrated. I would definitely call it underrated.
Especially with the way that the city is, you know, dissected basically by the rivers coming through. You have all of the trees. As Yohan Ramirez gives up a free pass to Miguel Vargas, now first and third, nobody out here in the 7th. But I mean, take a look up there. That is the view.
Look at that.
Right?
Yeah.
And for me, that's thinking about one of my favorite restaurants here in Pittsburgh is Altius. And because it's right there up on top of Mount Washington, get a little fancy, you know, you get up there, eat some tasty food, looking over the city like that, it's amazing. But that view, it's crazy. Do you know how many bridges there are in Pittsburgh? It's like 480
It's 447.
Yeah, I think for some
447?
reason that sounds right. It's the most per capita, I
Check
think,
me on that.
anywhere, at least in the country, if not the world.
I think it's in the world.
Yeah. It's just crazy to think that you build this city and then you're like, oh, well, how are we going to get to each other, right? I mean, when it was first built.
You know why the inclines existed, right? It was because for the I believe it was the mills. It was up. You would just go up and down rather than trying to take some sort of public transit. They had the people lived on top of Mount Washington and would take the inclines down and work.
Oh, okay.
And it's like in the Strip District where the terminal's at now. That was all the docks and all the dock workers. You know why Permane Brothers sandwiches exist the way they do?
No, come on, hit me in
Do you know this?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Give me Pittsburgh.
Check my history
info.
on this. It's because they tried to put the entire meal on one sandwich so that the workers can kind of eat it faster or on the go.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It totally does. But yeah, they didn't have long to eat their lunch breaks, so that was what the Permanes
That's wild.
did to change the game.
Fortunately, another ball off Hortz's glove. Another one they just can't quite reach. Another run scores 7-1. Still nobody out here in the 7th. This is an inauspicious start for the second half for the Buccos.
Not
here
what we were
today.
hoping for.
Not what you were hoping for.
And this man is part of the reason to blame. What
Yeah.
a game he has had thus far.
He's had an
Maybe a
incredible
resurgence. I would like to see that. I think he's a special guy.
Yeah, dude, he's got one of those things, he's got all the talent. He's been hurt a bunch, so you always wonder how long is it going to take to get back up to full ability,
Right.
Yeah.
right after injuries, especially when you go lower half injuries, man, legs, as a position player. I mean, I got to assume wrestling's got to be the same. If you can't get your legs underneath you, you just can't get anything done.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I pulled a hamstring painting before, so
Did you?
yeah.
It's basically the same.
Did you slip, or is this just like, did it
Dude,
just
I
happen?
was just.
How did you
I
come
was
back?
So, well, let me tell you, through hard work and perseverance, we made
Through
it back
sitting
on.
down for the rest of the times that I painted.
Somebody give me a chair. I just got myself terribly out of shape, and back. I think it was like during COVID.
Right.
And it was like one of the first gigs back, and I was just.
You got to stretch, man.
I got
You
to
gotta
stretch. I'm getting old. Even
the
though
truth.
at the time I was like 25. But yeah, you know, you got to stretch in my old age.
Oh, the wave has begun. That's never a good sign.
No, you don't want to see the wave. Another walk here by Ramirez, second of the inning. And it is now bases loaded, nobody out. Yohan Ramirez had a good outing. His first time up here with the Pirates this year. This one, he had a really good first inning. Came in second and third, nobody out, and gets out of it. And now you unfortunately get to a point where already run in, bases loaded. And I want to talk about myself, so we're going to talk
Please.
about me. My favorite places in Pittsburgh, most importantly is my first one, is the view of Pittsburgh when you exit the Fort Pitt Tunnel. So when I have people coming to town, sometimes I'll take the long way around, even though I'm up north, just to make sure that you had to go through that tunnel coming from the airport, and when it opens up into that view of Pittsburgh, it's unbelievable.
Everybody who sees that for the first time has something to say because their breath is taken away. And WWE stars are no exclusion. We just did Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago here at PPG Paints, and you can always tell who the first timers are. And of course, everybody in the company knows that this is my home, and I'm from Pittsburgh. And they can't wait. Oh my God, you come in from the airport and you come through that mountain. Like, oh yeah, I know it very well. I take a detour as well, just for an excuse to look at it from time to time. It's brilliant.
I have a lot of out-of-town friends, like from college and whatnot, and every time they fly in and I pick them up, I try to be like so nonchalant about it. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is normal
just
for
tunnel.
me. But they're blown away,
It's also just a crazy idea to think of building that tunnel.
Right.
How do you? I don't know. That stuff, engineering. If that's social engineering or what is that called? Structural engineering, whatever it is unbelievable to me.
Way above my pay grade.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Both my parents are engineers, and I'll have to ask them when I get home how that some of these things are possible.
Yeah.
Even just the infrastructure of Pittsburgh in general, like the things that you have to do to get around the geography of Pittsburgh is crazy.
Yeah, it's and you know what? There are some roads that make you realize, sometimes you just got to throw something in and hope that it works.
Listen, if nothing else, I learned to drive in Pittsburgh, and it has prepared me for the rest of the world.
Absolutely.
I would say the only city that's probably more difficult to navigate than Pittsburgh is Boston. Driving in Boston is an absolute nightmare.
Still haven't driven in Boston. Yeah,
but when you grow up here, nothing's that big of a deal. If you're lucky enough to go to a city that's built on a grid,
right?
Like New York, where you can miss a left turn and still get where you wanted to be, rather than end up on the other side of the river.
I used to get travel anxiety going to these different gigs, not knowing where these buildings are. Every time I get a gig in New York City, I'm like, oh, thank goodness it's in New York City, because it's so easy to get around.
Oh, you get that view coming through the tunnel. And it's so funny because the tunnel's so long, right? So when you get to the other end, you just assume that it's going to be, not cool.
Yeah.
It's just going to be more forest or whatever. And then all of a sudden
what's the line?
you come
The
out
perks of being a wallflower. Is it tonight we live forever, or tonight we are immortal?
Right. That's right. Good point. We are going to have a pitching change here, so I don't know. Are we going to get to it? Oh, there it is.
Beautiful.
City reveal. How beautiful. Yohan Ramirez coming out of the game. 7-1 ball game. PNC Park is my second. And I don't feel any shame in saying that, because I really don't think that there is a more beautiful ballpark in baseball. I really don't. I truly believe that. I know I am biased a little bit because it was the first Major League Baseball field that I ever got to call home. But it's just amazing. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful. And no matter what the Pirates look like on the field, it is still one of, if not my favorite places, not only in Pittsburgh, but on planet Earth. There's just something about that place sit down, no matter what the weather is, if it's sunny, if it's overcast, doesn't matter. Being there, the energy inside the arena or inside the stadium, and seeing the city in the backdrop, with a beer and a hot dog or 9 of each, sounds like the best way to spend a day.
I just like the bridges in the background, the city being right there in right field, and it's one of those things where, of course, looking at pictures of it, it's beautiful. Watching it on video, it's beautiful, but it being there in person, it blows your mind.
Yeah.
You know, like. And when people come into town and they're going to go to see a Pirates game, I always tell them, don't sit field level. Sit behind home plate up in the 300s.
Yeah.
It is the best place to watch a baseball game.
I
It's
agree
amazing.
with you. Yep.
It's amazing. And then my third is going to be the Clemente Museum. What did you want to say about PNC?
I was going to say, I was going to agree with you about the Clemente Museum as well.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's an unbelievable. I had a chance. I actually went there with Cole Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
He took my son and I a few years back, and we had an absolute blast. And
Yeah.
Dwayne gave us the tour, and all the mythology there. And the number 21 has a great significance.
It does.
I'm sure if you heard all the stories.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely worth the trip. And if you're a baseball fan or historian at all, you have to go to the Clemente. But I was going to ask you what your favorite park other than PNC is, whether to watch a game or maybe to play on.
So it kind of depends. So if you're going for straight, feeling in the stadium, it's Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Wrigley Field is a party every game. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a different feel than a lot of places in Major League Baseball. And it's funny because it's one of those, it's a baseball cathedral, right? It's been around for a really long time. Everybody knows about Wrigley Field. But when you're there, it feels so modern. And it feels like everybody's there to just have a great time, drink a bunch of beer, and watch a baseball game. And some of my favorite memories of playing Major League Baseball are shagging batting practice at Wrigley Field, because it would be full. The bleachers were full of people.
Yeah.
And they would just let you have it for 45 minutes. It just never stopped. But it was all like, good-natured, not really, really mean stuff.
Yeah.
You could converse back with the fans, and it'd be fun. Trevor Williams, who we talked about earlier, he was good strikeout by Genesis Cabrera there. What he would do is he would go and he'd like point at one side of fans, and he'd get them to make a bunch of noise, and then he'd point to another group of fans, and they'd make a noise. He'd go back and forth a few times, and they would just turn and throw the ball back into the bucket and not throw it to anybody. Oh my gosh.
Trevor is a guy. He just got. Did he just get surgery?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh man, he is one of the best dudes. You guys did a podcast together, right?
Yeah, he's my guy. He's my guy.
He's the best.
He is.
He's a guy that after he's done playing baseball, he could do whatever he wants, and I will watch.
I know, dude. He's a character.
He's
man.
the funniest guy in the world.
I was fortunate enough. I was playing for the Pirates in the Arizona Fall League when he got traded to the Pirates, and so he was like one of the first guys. We ended up hanging out. We're both from San Diego, so we got to know each other through that. He also didn't even have a uniform. He had to wear somebody else's uniform because they didn't have a jersey made for him yet. So he was Frank Duncan for a while, who was also a good friend of mine in the Pirates organization. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about Pittsburgh as a city, it's hard to separate Clemente from the city. Obviously baseball is a huge deal here in Pittsburgh, but so is football, and so is hockey. But there's something special about Clemente.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
and so it's just getting to go there and experience that and basically get transported back in time is just amazing. That museum is incredible. And that's a line drive. That's going to get by Tommy Pham. So that's going to score at least 2. Pham had to go back and get it, and that will score 3. Unfortunately, a bases clearing double for the ex-Pirate, Michael A. Taylor, and this has become a rout here in the 7th, 10-1. The White Sox lead it. This was the 29th worst scoring team in baseball. Unfortunately, the Pirates are the 30th, and right now it looks like a big gap.
is it too late to start the 999 challenge?
Oh, that's
Do
a
I
good
get extra
question.
points if I do it in 2 innings?
If you only do it in the final third of the game, 7th inning, I think you get an extra. You actually get an extra hot dog and a beer as a.
I want a plaque in the Clemente Museum. I feel like it's legendary.
Completed the 999 challenge in 3 innings. Two and a half.
Before Cody finished a painting.
These might be long innings. You can catch up.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's the showdown right there, live on pay-per-view. Sabol doing a painting versus
Sabol
me
painting.
doing the 999.
And it has to be an actual quality painting, right?
As opposed to the one I did tonight.
Yeah, this is garbage
this
over
dribble.
here. Paul
I was
Skeens.
thinking, we were trying to figure out what to call your paintings, because you don't want
Yeah.
to just call them paintings. They're not murals. You need to come up with a name for them, like, you know how Spike Lee
idea.
makes joints, right? He doesn't make
Yeah.
movies or films.
This is
Spike Lee has a
Lee
joint.
Yeah.
But it,
We have a
need, it
Cody
needs.
Sabol
I need to make
something.
sure it doesn't sound too pretentious, though, because that's a thing an artist faces. I don't want it to be its own thing because it's like, I'm just doing something so different. It's
I think
like
you should go over the top pretentious.
I think so. That's an art in and of
like
itself.
a Cody Sabol magnificence.
I think the next painting
You know,
you do better
something-
be of yourself.
this isn't a painting. This is a magnificence.
There it is.
Exactly.
I like that.
It's
You're
an
welcome.
experience. It's a, yeah.
You
The
take
Cody
that.
Sabol experience.
I'll take 25 cents every time they use it. 2-1 on Chase Mydroth. Look, we talked about something earlier that I really want to get into next inning when we get there. It's 2-2 count here. But when we were talking yesterday, Corey, you mentioned the fact that you find a lot about wrestling romantic.
Sure.
And part of that being the interactions between the wrestlers and the fans, or at the storylines, everything kind of playing into making it a special thing. And
Right.
I feel a lot that way about baseball. And just in case this is the last pitch, it's not. What does that mean to you?
I would say that I feel the same way about pro wrestling that you feel about baseball. And it's also one of the things that I love about baseball. And when I say romance, I don't mean in the, boy falls in love with girl traditional sense.
right.
I mean, just the story of anything, that why things happen, the struggle, the hero's journey.
Right.
Failing and trying to redeem yourself. Depending on what that looks like.
Ooh, that's a tough play in the hole. Nice
Got him.
throw
What a
over to
play.
first base. All right, the 7th inning ends, unfortunately. It is now 10-1 White Sox, and we'll go to the bottom of the 7th here on Unobstructed Views. The tubes. This is the Fort Pitt Tunnel. I was just informed by Brian Lasik, one of our historians basically here in Pittsburgh. But what is your favorite and most used Yinzer slang term? Yinzer 412 sent us that question. Very fitting, of course. You can hit us up at SN Pittsburgh or a hashtag SNP Views. And I basically just got a minute and a half of a lesson because I'm still learning this, but you guys are rattling them off.
Yeah, I lit up like a Christmas tree, man. All I had to do is reply with everything that my grandmother has said my entire life. From be careful, it's slippy outside.
Slippy.
Slippy, gonna run the sweeper, gonna red up You know what it means to red up?
No, I don't even know what run the sweeper means.
Well, a vacuum is the sweeper.
That doesn't.
Yeah, see, the people watching, if they're in Pittsburgh, they're like, how does this guy not know what a sweeper is?
Right.
You red up the room. It's like to clean up real quick, like
Ready up.
I guess, yeah.
You're just cutting off.
What do you got, Cody?
See, because it's a bunch of combinations of words. Sometimes, like jeet.
Jeet.
You know what that is?
No, I have no idea what that is.
Did you eat?
Yeah, Jeet in the proper response.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah, you just speed up the
In
word.
the proper response to that, no, Jew.
No, you? Yeah.
Okay, I mean
Jew.
that's the most Yinzer conversation I think I've ever heard. Jeet, Jew.
Jeet, no, Jew.
See that again? My
But you know exactly what we said, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, I do.
My grandparents, same thing. They call it clicker, Jaggerbush,
Jaggers, yeah.
all those things. You stay away from the Jaggers.
Chipped ham.
What is happening right now? What is a Jagger?
Hey, it's Yinzer Palooza, Steven.
I know,
Come on,
I'm
man.
trying to
What's a
Word.
Jaggerbush? What do you think?
I don't know
Thorns?
if I want to.
Thornbush.
Thorns, a thorn bush.
Oh, a Jagger
Yeah,
bush.
Jaggerbush.
Yeah, Jaggers.
I thought, I didn't know it was this extensive. I knew, like,
it's-
yeah.
Yinzer obviously and because the
They sell the
proliferation
books at the airport.
Yeah. They have them in the strip, too. Yeah.
all the
it's a Pittsburgh
Ease
dictionary.
terms.
Pittsburghese.
Yeah.
Got our own language.
Okay, so what would you say one that really stands out to you? It says like that's super Yinzery.
Sweeper is definitely one.
Sweeper.
I've
Sweeper.
said that to people. Like, I'm gonna run the sweeper, and they go, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's from Kentucky, and she's like, it's a vacuum.
Yeah.
It is it is
is a
vacuum.
vacuum.
Chipped ham also is apparently because it's just sliced ham
It's
or
so-
thinly
it's-
sliced.
Yeah.
We call it, but I have seen they call it that at the grocery store.
Here,
Chipped
right?
ham,
It's
yeah.
Isley's
Yeah.
chipped ham, but it's
Right.
not. If
It's
you go
only
to
a Pittsburgh
Kentucky,
thing.
Wow, that was so quick. We're going to talk more about ham when we come back on Unobstructed Views.
going off the rails.
Welcome back to Unobstructed Views. Stephen Brault, Corey Graves, Cody Sabol, talking about ham. No, I mean, we're actually talking about Pittsburghese and the language that I am still trying to learn. It's Yinzer Palooza. You got to know your Pittsburghese on Yinzer Palooza weekend because I want to use some of this. You know, like I'm going to be in that pregame, postgame show tomorrow. I want to use some words. So you guys got to instruct me a little bit on something maybe I can throw in that will actually sound sort of natural, right?
Up air and down air.
Up air.
Up air and down air?
Yeah.
Down air.
Yeah.
It's only two directions you really need to know.
That's a good point. It's really all you need to know. We got a few new people in the game. Leover Peguero comes in. Jack Sawinski comes in. Unfortunately, this game is not going the way that Yinzer Palooza would like it to here on the start. 10-1 ball game. White Sox lead it in the top of the 8th inning. But pretty amazing to see as we're going into this. Cody, we talked about places we really like. But I like talking about food, man. I love food. I love experiencing new food. Coming out to Pittsburgh, for me, there's not too many new foods that I've really tried, But one place that I love that is, I looked it up, a Pittsburgh local staple is Burgatory. Dude, I love Burgatory. It is
I love
my
Burgatory.
spot. I crush it whenever I can. I think it's so good. I think the burgers are incredible.
Is Burgatory local?
Yeah, it's
I didn't
local.
realize that.
Isn't that wild?
There's a couple of them. I've
Yeah.
been there many times. Big fan. I didn't realize it was around here.
I just expected them to be sort of like a chain, I guess,
Right.
but like a higher end chain.
Yeah.
Their burgers are fantastic.
Fantastic.
What you make your own, I'm sure.
No, I don't. I just go with the traditional. I love me a classic burger. I'm easy to please when it comes to burgers, Cody.
I do a little garlic aioli and like things like that. Like
You fancy it up.
is it the peppercorn dry rub?
Yeah.
We're gonna go next door after.
Yeah, I
after
think we
this.
have to now. Ground ball to third. Of course, Key Brian Hayes runs the sweeper, not the vacuum. Look at that. See, I'm trying to figure it out. That was a bit of a forced in there, but
We're gonna change you. It's gonna be in your DNA here soon.
I know. I'm gonna start saying an and it's gonna like flow. So actually, last year, after all the time I've spent in Pittsburgh, last year was the first first time I ever experienced somebody walk up to me on the street and say, "How yous doing?" Like completely casually, in a way that didn't seem forced or weird at all. Just, "How yous doing?" And I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
I've done it. I'm a Yinzer. And we're already going to the bottom of the 8th. So thanks for joining us, Corey. Great half inning. We're going to go to the bottom of the 8th now here on Unobstructed Views on SMP+. The terrible towel twirler, Corey Graves. Dude, how cool was that?
One of the coolest moments of my life. I mean, again, growing up a Pittsburgh sports fan, having that opportunity to run out at Acrisure and onto the field with, these monstrous human beings.
They're so big.
It's so cool. It's one of those things where it really made me sort of check myself, where I've been lucky enough and blessed to be around the world and meet so many cool people and do so many awesome things, but to do it at home, there's just another layer to that of like, it's extra cool to me to be able to do that. And I've been able now twice to throw out the first pitch at the Pirates game.
Right, yeah.
And I get more excited. I'm calling my dad, my friends. I preparing for WrestleMania. It's like,
right.
Oh, WrestleMania is the biggest show in sports entertainment. I've done that, I think, 7 or 8 times, which is amazing. But there's something about throwing out a pitch or stepping onto the football field of your hometown team. It's just magic, man.
How scary was it throwing out that first pitch?
Terrifying.
It's terrifying.
You did it too, right?
I've not done it with the Pirates. I've done it with the Harrisburg Senators.
Yes!
Okay? So I'm still in Double A.
You're still in double.
All right, I
You're
started
building up.
with the
I
Port
wanna
St.
get-
Lucie Mets, so it's all right.
I'm
I
gonna get
played
called
there.
up here soon. Dude, I threw it to the backstop.
Did you?
Yeah. Because
Like high?
It's terrifying.
Too strong. That's a good problem.
Well, I used to, I got a college scholarship by throwing. You'd think I could throw it I played baseball. it's terrifying. You played baseball, but for some reason you throw out that first pitch, it feels like you're throwing it, 50 yards.
Maybe you're afraid your dad's gonna be mad at you.
Oh, dude, I haven't even told him. I didn't even tell him I threw out a first pitch.
Dan, this guy pitching who just came in, Dan Altavilla. He's a Yinzer.
Yeah, yes, he is.
Another one.
Is that Mount Lebanon?
He went to your high school? It ended your high school career. Sorry, we have one of our producers, our media members. His name is Swing. That's what he goes by. Is Swing from One True Media? Is that right? One Team Media. Yeah.
Team Media.
But no, he just said Dan Altavilla ended his high school baseball career, and that's a huge bummer.
You know who ended mine? Ian Happ.
No way.
Yeah, he played for Mount Lebo, and I played on those Norwin teams like 15 years ago that were like going undefeated.
Ooh, what a catch down there at third base by Colson Montgomery. Tommy Pham bummed. That's crazy.
Yeah, and Ian Happ hit like a triple in the first inning, and we couldn't score. And I mean, in the regular season, I think we won like 28 games in a row.
Wow.
My sophomore and junior year, and then the next year.
How many games did you play in high school?
They just kept getting rained out. So we didn't get to play that many. Our field at the time was dirt, and with the weather and whatnot, I think Gateway made the switch to turf, right?
Yeah.
Norwin eventually did after I left, I think when my brother started playing, but it was hard to play in Western PA during this time. There was a time, I think we only played like 16 games one year because it was like so, it was so tough to get a game in.
We were playing 50.
Yeah.
Just because you could. It wasn't a problem. It never rained. Just droughts all the time. Take what you can get, I guess. Andrew McCutchen now at the plate. Talk about somebody who has made Pittsburgh their home. This guy right here, 3-0 now. When you think about modern Pirates, you think Andrew McCutchen. He's the guy,
yes.
right? And he's getting up there with the hits and the home runs, and he's right at the top of all the Pirates record books in stats. You guys watched him from the beginning of his career, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a cool experience because he's now just in the fabric of Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. And he's always been so classy and low-key about it. You never heard a bad word about Kutch. Even when he left, he always talked about how much he loved the city and how much the city loved him. Obviously, he comes back and is welcomed with open arms. And I think he's going to be remembered for a long, long time by the entire city. You don't even have to be a Pirates fan to know what Andrew McCutchen has meant to this city. I mean, he's an absolute legend in every sense of the word.
Absolutely. Those years where the Pirates were making those wild card games, getting into the playoffs, there was nothing. I've never experienced anything like it. There were games where the Pirates were fighting with the Cardinals in 2015 for that first spot in the division, and going to games in late July that really meant something. I mean, I've never experienced anything like it. It was so cool. And then that was when I started going to college. So they would play while our season was starting to ramp up. Our football season was starting to ramp up. So I would watch the games from my dorm room, just freaking out on people. I was converting people in Kentucky to be Pirates fans, just with me for a couple hours.
Right. Yeah, those teams, I remember that. Everybody remembers the Cueto moment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Swinsky goes down looking. That's the end of the eighth. We go into the ninth here, 10-1. White Sox lead it here on Unobstructed Views.
There's still a chance.
Always. Cody Sabol special. You can see the signature right in there, bottom right corner. What bridge is this, Cody?
This is the Warhol Bridge. The Andy Warhol Bridge.
That's 7th Street, right? Is that 9th? Oh,
That's the 8th Street.
6th?
Because it's Clemente.
6th is Clemente. 7th, I think 7th is Warhol.
Oh, Warhol and then Rachel
Rachel Carson.
Right,
Yeah. I can't remember the numbers.
I beat the Indians.
You got
The
us.
Warhol Bridge takes you to the Warhol Museum.
I did something. Yeah. And the Clemente goes to PNC. Isaac Mattson comes in the game here in the top of the 9th. Pirates down 10-1. But this has been a guy who's been a lot of fun to watch this year. 1.89 ERA in 19 innings. Just throws fastball after fastball after fastball, and just gets a lot of swing and miss on it. Pretty fun to watch. As this season goes on, guys, what do you hope to see, Cody? You want to see them start to bring up more young guys and see how things progress, or as a fan, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious of what they do at the trade deadline that's come up here shortly, and I think that would definitely change my answer, probably seeing what they do. But I would love to see some young guys come up and just play baseball, because at that point in the season they're just trying to prove themselves, give a spark of life, and I just want to see what we got coming up in the ranks.
It's been an interestingly difficult year for the Pirates this year. The offense just hasn't been there. The pitching, though, has, and so it's like you've got this one problem that's bad. I mean, the offense has not been there at all, but the pitching is actually, you're in the top third of the league in basically every pitching stat, some of them even much higher. And so you don't want to blow it up, right?
I agree. I think the pitching staff should stay as close to intact as possible. I keep hearing Keller's name mentioned in rumors, and I really think that would be a huge missing piece. If for nothing else, he's got a little bit of veteran presence.
And he just eats innings, man.
He does.
Just deep in
I was at the game a few weeks ago, and he broke the PNC strikeout record.
Oh, you were at that game?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Awesome. That's great.
But obviously, business is business. We have no say in how that actually plays out. I am genuinely excited to see what next year holds, but I think they've got to invest in some bats.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to go sign a super high dollar player, but consistent bats, because we have the pitching. The pitching with a little bit of help, and not. Oh my goodness!
Oh, and he stops it, makes the play over at first.
There we go. I like to see
There you go.
And there's prospects, in the minors that could be game changers, but I don't know. I think you keep the pitching as close to intact as possible.
They're very reminiscent, I think, of the Steelers, who have great defense but haven't had the offense, and the offense is actually kind of left the defense out there to play 3/4 of football every game.
Right.
So when your pitchers are struggling because they feel like they have to overcompensate for, it could, maybe that's why every once in a while we have a bad outing on the mound.
The same way that it feels right for the Pirates to play gritty baseball, just like Isaac Mattson right there, did a little back somersault afterwards too. That kind of feeling for baseball is the same for me. Steelers should always have a scary defense.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It just feels right.
And going back to keeping the lineups intact, I think it's a little unfair to put all the pressure and the weight of the team on a prospect that just gets called up. Connor Griffin or someone comes up and they're all of a sudden, okay, the team's better now, we've got it fixed.
Right.
It's not fair to any one player to have to feel the weight of the world on their shoulders like Skeens has right now. I think you let him, develop and just build some pieces around him, some support, and then let the stars grow into the stars.
I mean, you've seen some guys that come up and make a huge difference, but then there's been a lot of times where guys who come here to Pittsburgh, or they come up in the system, maybe are not superstars, right? But then they go somewhere else where they're not expected to be a superstar.
Who knows?
And they're so much better.
Where if Henry Davis ends up somewhere else, we're not talking about him in Cooperstown conversations at this point. And again, no disrespect, but I think that's a great example where he didn't really have any help. There were incredible expectations. When the media started getting word that he was thinking about coming up, or they were toying with the idea of bringing him up, he was all of a sudden the uncrowned savior. And when he didn't turn out to be that guy immediately,
Yeah.
the fans sort of give up on him, or and that's not fair to anybody.
Especially, I mean, he came up as a right fielder.
Right.
He was catching for the minor leagues, but then they didn't think he was going to be able to catch, so they put him out in right field. And that, not only are you putting a lot on the guy to just be really good, but now you're having him do it in a position that he's not even all that comfortable in. So it can be difficult to make that transition no matter what.
And I think at this point we're, the halfway point of the season.
Yep.
We know that this isn't going to be a playoff year for the Pirates, barring some sort of miracle. Use it to develop, use it to build, use these next few months to get everybody more comfortable and acclimated to have a full off season and a full spring training as a new unit, as a team, and come out of the gates swinging next year.
Be nice to keep the core together. Pop up to second base, and we will go to break here. Bottom of the ninth coming up here on Unobstructed Views on SportsNet Pittsburgh Plus. Bottom of the ninth, Pirates down 9. Tough game. Not the 9-9 that we were hoping to see tonight. We'd rather have beers and hot dogs. That'd be a little bit more fun. But it's been great. Cody Sabol, local artist. Corey Graves, local everything but current WWE commentator. Stephen Brault, I also talk on TV. It's awesome to have you guys here with us. It's been so much fun. It's fun to get into more about Pittsburgh itself, right? And to celebrate the city. You mentioned that one of the things you love about it is that, unironically, people in Pittsburgh love Pittsburgh more than anything else.
Right.
And is there anything else that you can think of in this last half inning here on Yinzerpalooza night 1 that maybe you think about when you think about Pittsburgh that you guys love?
It's the people. It's the people.
Yeah.
It's the culture. It's the fact that nobody is better than anybody else. Everybody is wired the same way. It's sort of that blue collar mentality. I think it's bred through us through generations. And if you get too big for your britches, there's someone sitting right beside you who's going to knock you back down to earth.
They'll let you know.
It is, right? That's what it is. It's nobody's better than anybody else. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like, who you know, what you're good at. It's a community in every sense of the word, and everybody looks out for each other, and I'm proud to be from here.
Yeah. I think about my grandfather, who was a steel worker for 42 years. And he helped. He was part of that group that helped build this city, and I'm a proud person to be built because of this city. Right. And I feel like I wouldn't have this career that I love if I was from any other place, because you guys rallied around me and around the sports paintings that I was making, and I just love this city. I owe a lot to it.
I'm the exact same way. It's weird because as a baseball player, you obviously don't choose what team drafts you, right? You just you get a phone call and you go. And I actually got drafted by the Orioles, Baltimore, and I got traded to Pittsburgh in the minor leagues. And so when I got called up to the big leagues, my first 3 starts were all on the road. I started in St. Louis, my first start, then I got sent down. And my second start, I started in Milwaukee, and I got sent down. And my third start, I started in Chicago, and I got sent down. So I didn't even get to come to Pittsburgh for like my first month and a half of being a Major League Baseball player.
That's wild.
And so when I finally did that September, Adam Frazier and I, actually, who just got traded a few days ago, we stayed for September. We stayed at this Residence Inn right here on the corner, and we lived there for a month, and we walked the field every day, and it was just like, man, this is such a different place than anything I've ever experienced because of the water, the bridges, the stadiums being right next to each other. Nice play at third base by Montgomery. But there's a lot of special things about this city, and I think that you bring up a good point when it comes to the people, because even people like who have transplanted here, when you talk to them about it, they love it. They love it. Rob King, who just walked in, is a great example of that. Not from Pittsburgh, but now is the biggest proponent of the city. He loves this place, and so do I. It's a great place to be. And it's just really cool. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, we feel that. We feel that.
You guys got to experience it from being born, though, right?
Sure. And I think it's one of those things that you can't necessarily appreciate to its fullest until you've been away from it. And that's, let's say that you have to move away for a long period of time, but you were saying you spent time in Kentucky, in college, you leave, and then you come back to it. And that's when it's like that warm embrace, man. It's like I'm home. I remember when I was finally moving back here in 2019, I was in, I forget what city for WWE, and as my plane was landing, I was coming through the clouds. And right when the plane broke through the clouds, I had elderly woman behind the Pearl Jam song, Elderly Woman. When I just want to scream hello.
Right.
And it just happened to play right as I came through the clouds, and I saw like the airport and the city, and I was just like, okay, I'm home. It just felt so right, so good.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's funny because you just never expect. You never know what's going to end up taking your fancy, right? Or coming back home and feeling like this is where I'm meant to be. This is a good feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, this city, I remember every time I would get dropped off in Kentucky for college, I just wanted to be back home so badly.
Right. And playing baseball here was so cool. Talk about a city that cares. And even like when we weren't good or when I did poorly and I wasn't necessarily, you get booed sometimes when you don't do well in this city, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I really don't.
It's all passion, man.
It's passion, exactly. It's showing passion.
I think it would be weird if they didn't boo, right? Wouldn't it be weird?
You want the team or you want the fans to want to win.
We hate what's happening right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's been it was interesting playing here, but when you go out, like when I would go out, even if I had a terrible start that day, but you see somebody out and they say hi, they're always still the best. They're so nice. Even when they'll say things like, "Hey, not a great start today, but man, I really like watching you." It's like, "Hey, thank you, I appreciate that."
Then I hit you with a G-Jet.
Yeah, G-Jet. Yes, I'm learning. Okay.
By the end of the Yinzerpalooza, you will have a full-blown vocabulary at your disposal.
Oh, there's a hardline drive by Henry Davis, scooped up by Montgomery. It's a really good game over there, and that is it. Corey Graves, Cody Sabol, Stephen Brault here on Unobstructed Views here on SNP Plus. It has been so much fun, guys.
It was a blast.
I really appreciate it. It's been amazing.
Thanks for
Cody,
having me, brother.
the painting, sweet. Corey, what's your next thing you're doing with WWE?
Monday Night Raw, Netflix, 8 p.m. Eastern this coming Monday.
There you go. Next Unobstructed Views, August 22nd. Stick around for the the post-game show. Pirates Extra Innings coming up. Rob King, Kevin Young, Alex Presley, and none of them will paint as good as Cody Sabol. I can promise you that. Thanks for joining us.